See everybody, and Mike, thanks for organizing this, and Dr. J, thanks for inviting me to be part of it, and Maria. So anyway, yeah, I'm not going to go too much into the weeds on this tonight, but just wanted to sort of educate you guys as to what there is here in Aiken and what you have. As an option to improve your game and improve your fitness and just improve how you feel overall. So we put together a few PowerPoint slides, and we're going to quickly go through those. And then Maria's going to talk to you briefly about what she does, and Dr. J, and I think we're planning on kind of breaking out a little bit and leaving room for Q&A, things like that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, so anyway, William Durrett, you got my full name, you just call me Will, but so like Mike said, played football, grew up in Aiken, spent about 10 years in Atlanta where I really got into strength and conditioning and coaching. Had a football background, sort of developed a passion for golf, and I take it pretty seriously, so you guys will probably see me out here a little bit. But anyway, did my TPI certification. I've done yoga certifications and some other certifications, but really most of my experience just comes down to hands-on, being around sports. Understanding, I grew up in a medical background. My dad's a physician and never really wanted to go that route, but very passionate about sport performance and what your physical limitations are and how to break through those limitations. And I think just having the experience of working with some tour pros and also working with older people and then personally just going from being 260 pounds and stiff and not being able to play a sport like golf to picking up a game like golf at 30 and understanding that there are limitations such as rotation and stability and hip rotation and things like that, sort of made me become nerdy about it, so to speak, and just the transition from more of a power sport to a rotary sport such as golf or baseball or tennis. So that's really allowed me to sort of change my body and allowed me to get down to a +2 handicap. And I don't say that to brag, I say that because, I came from never playing a game of golf till I was 30 to, playing for 8 years now and working really hard to change some things that football sort of did to my body and lifting heavy weights that you guys could probably relate to. So some early onset arthritis, degenerative disc disease. Dr. J, see my MRIs. Maria stretches me, and it's been a lot of work, but I'm really glad I put the work in because it has allowed me to experience more freedom in playing the game and being able to play multiple days a week and not hurt quite as bad. Is it ever going to be perfect? No, but can you make a lot of progress? 100%, and I think that's the goal. So we'll go through a few slides. I'm not going to do much, but to get the most out of your golf game, this is our goal. By improving your body, I say we as a team, by improving your body's ability to move properly, we would like for everyone to experience more enjoyment while playing the game with less stiffness and pain. So that's priority number one. All the things like hitting it further, hitting it more consistently, those are all nice byproducts. But if you take care of your body properly, the number one goal is injury prevention and then managing some of the stress and some of the injuries and ailments that all of us experience at some point in life. When we talk about moving properly, and that's okay, you can leave the slide.
Okay.
When I talk about moving properly, I talk about athletic motion. So whether you consider yourself an athlete or not, if you're standing and walking and playing golf from time to time, you're an athlete. And we all have things that we do naturally well, and we all have tendencies. I don't care if you're Tiger Woods or you're an 18 handicap. Everyone has tendencies that they do naturally in their golf swing. Now, they're harder to understand and tell in a tour player, but those guys have things that they constantly have to keep in check with their coaches. The more that you can create a natural athletic motion, not necessarily in your golf swing, but how you move as a human being, the better chances of that transitioning into your golf swing and into how you feel and pick up your grandchildren and get out of the car and push the grocery cart around the grocery store. the more likely you are to be able to experience and enjoy these things that we enjoy, you know, for longer in life. So we offer sport-specific tools and expertise that you will not get from your everyday personal fitness trainer. Not to take anything away from those people, but we understand the science behind the golf swing, how the body's supposed to move, and we design unique programming for your specific needs. We specialize in tour pros as well as avid golfers over the age of 50 who are looking to get the most out of their game. And I enjoy working with juniors too. I just think it's really fun to work with people who have so much potential. I think we get caught up in the trap of age, and you know, I hear with guys I play with at Palmetto all the time, oh, it's just due to lack of talent and old age. And I said, well, that's not true. There's a lot of potential there that you haven't even tapped into just from how you can change your body a little bit. You know, as you all know, golf is not just a game of inches, but it's also a game of millimeters when you're talking club face to ball impact. And that's what we look to achieve in everything we do. Are you going to be pain-free totally? Probably not. It's part of life. Are we going to totally get 100% range of motion back? Probably not. But would 20% be worth a little time spent? Would 40% be worth a little time spent? It's just all about progress. This is just a visual, just to kind of show you some of the major players in the golf swing, things that need to be stretched, activated, firing at the right times to produce a nice kinematic sequence, which is a little deep, but that's just sort of how your body unwinds from the ground up, hopefully. A lot of us tend to unwind from the top down, but that's what we tend to work on with creating this athletic motion, is being able to use the ground more properly, and things happening from literally your feet, your foot pressure, you know, all the way up to your hands at impact. And this is just, you know, I call this just a pyramid. This gives a lot of people a really good idea of what my type of training looks like. We specifically address these areas. As you know, you can't build strength and then speed would be above that if we had another tip of that pyramid on top of a sloppy foundation. I see guys all the time who want to buy speed sticks and they want to throw medicine balls and do things to create more speed, but A, they don't have the strength to do it. B, they haven't created the stability to even build strength. And most importantly, they don't even have the mobility to do these other things and move upstream. And that is, you know, that is the biggest common theme that I see. And unless you really know what you're doing and you've had a personal assessment, which all three of us do, it's hard to even know where to begin. So what we do is we really personalize all of our approaches into how we work with clients and patients. And we make sure that usually most people, you gotta have mobility first. But you know, and this is not a knock to my guys, but a lot of females have better mobility naturally. You know, anatomically, their hips are wider. They have more internal rotation of the hip. Got to have a lot of hip internal rotation in the golf swing. And if you don't, that's when your back and your facet joints and all those sorts of things start to take the brunt of the golf swing. So, got to address mobility. And then sometimes with ladies, you know, we may need more stability. So does that mean that you come for a workout and all you do is mobility? Do you guys understand the difference in flexibility and mobility?
I don't have either.
Okay.
So I understand that I don't.
So yeah, in order to create a range of flexibility, which is a lot of what Maria does, you have to sometimes have some help. You need your body to be totally relaxed and to be able to get into positions where you can increase the length of the muscle, okay? That's great. When we talk about mobility, we talk about the joints' ability to move independently of themselves, which is also really important. So if you think about a golf swing, and I don't care if you're Dustin Johnson and you swing it 125 miles an hour, or you're an 18 handicap that's, you know, plays from the goal tees and you swing it 80 miles an hour. That's a pretty fast movement that requires a lot of stabilization and deceleration. And if you don't have the mobility to perform that, that's where you end up sort of creating injury, right? And these are usually not, I got hit by a car, broke my neck. These are usually overuse injuries that create lots of asymmetry, which is very much an asymmetrical sport already. And that leads to imbalance, which downstream leads to injury. Sorry, I'm getting a little into the weeds, so I wouldn't do it. So these are the 12 most common swing characteristics and flaws. And I don't care if, like I said, if you're Dustin Johnson or you're one of us, we all have one of these categories within our golf swings, okay? Some people early extend, some people slide, some people get reverse spine angle, all sorts of things. This is based on science. The top coaches in the world from back in the Butch Harmon days and way before that have had tons of data on technology. Luckily, we have so much technology now, from TrackMan to pressure plates to K-Vest that measure your kinematic sequence. And so there's just been thousands and thousands of golf swings, more than that, that go into a data pool. And these coaches understand sort of what your swing characteristics are, okay? And usually when you begin to work with your pro or your teaching pro, these are things they address whether you realize it or not. These are absolutely a result of habit and muscle memory. We hear that term a lot in golf, but what is more important, and this is what I specialize in and I'm very passionate about, is the imbalances and the inefficiencies that actually force your body to sometimes want to move that way. There's plenty of golf coaches that say, hey, well, I need you to turn more. I need you to have more rotation. I see people hit 100, 200 golf balls and they're still doing the same thing because their brain has never created that neurological pattern of how do I actually separate my torso from my lower quarter and actually turn. And so what we do is we do drills, we do treatment, we do stretching, and we build the brain's, A, the body's ability to do that, and then B, the brain's ability to actually make that a pattern so that you can actually perform some of the tasks that or drills that your coach is asking of you. I love players of all skill levels. This does not, I know this sounds really high level, and I'm sorry if I haven't dumbed it down enough. But really and truly, if you guys are a member at the Reserve Club and you play 3 times a month or you play 8 days a week, unless you're not being honest with yourself, everybody wants to play their best. Everybody plays this game, yes, because it's fun, but it's very frustrating at times, even to the best players. But if you're going to put the money into it, if you're going to play the golf, and then more importantly, if you just don't feel good, why not invest in yourself? Just a little bit, because it goes a long way. We're passionate about improving the way you move naturally, providing feedback that will actually help you, and this is very much a team approach. So if Dr. J sees something with a mutual client and Maria as well, we're able to say, hey, this is something I'm noticing, this is something to A, be careful of, because we don't want to injure anybody, potentially, but B, this is something that we all need to address before we can move on to the next step. And most importantly, with that being said, if you are someone who gets lessons, even if it's twice a year, it's important that your coach, and I know that you guys have some great instructors here at the Reserve Club, it is important that your coach know what you can and can't do. I mean, the days of trying to force people into positions that are just not physically possible at this time are over. All coaches now understand the importance of biomechanics and medicine and sports and what we are now able to offer to all players of all skill levels. Call to action, and we can go through this later. This is just very brief. I love working with groups. Just to keep it sort of golf themed, an ideal situation would be a foursome. And it's just from an accountability standpoint. So some of this stuff can become very monotonous at first, and it's difficult at first, but you would be amazed at how it makes you feel. There's not a day, and you can ask my wife in the back corner, that's McKaylee. There's not a day, I don't care if my tee time's at 7 a.m. and I'm taking that round of golf seriously. For tournaments, she travels with me on the road sometimes. I'll play in a lot of bigger amateur events. I'm up at 4:30 if I have to. There is not a day that I hit one single golf ball without doing something. Motion is lotion, right? You have to do the things to not only get your body stretched out, to not only get your body mobilized, but more importantly, you need to be activated. And that is what a lot of the PTs and the strength coaches on tour are now teaching their players. If you had 10 minutes to do something, would you lay on the floor and touch your hamstrings or stand up? No. You would do some sort of activation exercises to get certain muscles firing so that you are using the right muscle groups at the right time in your golf swing. That is going to more so prevent injury than just doing flexibility exercises. So thanks, Maria, for doing that. And I just want to say these two have been incredible in my story so far.